Hello and welcome to my live stream. I will be working in this sketchbook. This is while I was doing gestural drawings with my dog in the park. If you are drawing along, please do let me know. And thank you for letting me know the audio is working. That is brilliant. Okay, so now let's switch over to the side-by-side view. Hopefully you can also hear me now. So this is my Pith sketchbook. I think it's the Kabosu. So that's the sketchbook I'm using. And, oh, sorry, just got to fix the chat, live chat, so I can see all the chats. Okay, so I did these, like I said, while I was playing with Sam with the Italic calligrapher pen. And I wanted to actually add some color, but obviously it wasn't possible because he would come back every 2 minutes for me to chuck the ball and wouldn't take no for an answer. So today what I've got is I've got some of my watercolors here. These are the Szmal watercolors. And then I've got my usual gouache palette that I might use. I've got some water, some brushes, and some of my favorite pencils. I haven't taken out all of them. I just want to see if I can work with my favorites, which is basically some browns, some greens, some blues, and see if I can make sense of this. Now, they're a bit scribbly, as you can, I tried to do that one as well, but it didn't quite work out. So they are quite scribbly, so I'm going to see if I can give them a bit of dimension so that I can then work from them and create artwork from these sketches. So I think the first one, let's start with this one because it's a top view of Sam. And it's a little bit easier to see perhaps where I need to add shadows and where I need to add the ground area and just bring it out of the page a little bit. It's a bit flat at the moment. So what I'm going to do is get my brush. This is a Squirrel Hair by Jack. I think I got it from Jackson's a long time ago when I used to paint silk. And I've got a bunch of water. So let's quickly wet my palette. Just adding a few drops of water into each so that they soften up. These Szmal ones tend to get a bit sticky once they are wet, but I really like that. While I do this, let me know, are you drawing? Are you drawing with me? Are you doing something else? Are you watching? I know, April, you said you were cooking dinner. Okay, so we've got that. Let me pop it here so you can see what I'm doing. So in this, what I'm going to do is add shadows first of all. So the lightest part of Sam would be here. And I'm not making this a realistic piece. So I'm just going to take some of, I think this is shadow gray or shadow violet or something. And I'm just going to add some color across the sides. I'm not being too particular about where I add it. This just gives it a little bit more dimension like so. And a little bit here just to show the shape of his head. And like so. Oh, thanks, April. This is Camo Studio on my iPad. So the iPad is that camera there. And then I've got my phone set up here to actually film what I'm doing. Oh, which I shouldn't whack it. Oh, you're still at work. Oh, you made dal, yummy. Did you make veg with the dal or did you put veg in the dal? Oh, there we go. Sorry, just sorting out things. Now, because this is watercolor, I've got to wait for it to dry a little bit. So while I'm waiting for it to dry, let's maybe work on this one, which is again a slight top view where he's looking up at me. Now his eyes, oops, that's a bit too much watercolor. Now the nice thing about watercolor is that you can dry your brush off and just roll it like that to lift it. And then I'm just going to smudge it a bit because that's the effect I want anyway. So a little bit more gray, again down the sides and down the back because he's looking up. And his eyes are always a bit darker. There we are. Just dal in the Instant Pot, says Monkey Mintaka. Maybe I'll make some Bombay potatoes too. Yum. Yum, yum. Okay, so This is more or less dry now. I really like that the Pith paper dries so quickly. It's a slightly wonky sketchbook, so what I'm going to do is actually take half the sketchbook and flip it over like that, so it makes it nice and flat, which I think is a little bit easier for you to see as well, isn't it? Now I'm going to use the Aquarius green, which is a lovely green, and add some of the ground, just a little bit, like so. I'm not going to bring it up to the face because I don't want it over there. Sometimes I just turn my sketchbook around because I want the point to be in the line, not in the other side. Oh yeah. And I've got to remember to keep the sketchbook within the frame. Maybe I'll pop my thing over there. And then for this one, I don't think I want to use green around it. Let's maybe try and use a combination of ultramarine and burnt sienna, which gives us a different kind of grey, a little bit more like warm grey as well, and use that. Again, turn my sketchbook upside down. That gives a bit more shadow. And this time what I'm going to do is add a bit more water and bring that in here. But also use the tip of my brush to give a little bit more furriness and a bit more around the eyes, like so. Now I'm going to wait for that to dry because it looks quite different once it dries. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe a bit more here. I'm going to add a bit of the burnt sienna, no, the azo yellow, I think it is, to the ground here, mixed with the green. And actually, let's take that across to here as well. Add a bit more green in the front, and a bit more blue towards the back. And I suppose there should be a leg somewhere in here, so let's also give that a bit more green there. Anybody do anything interesting today? Mine was an admin heavy day. It wasn't much fun. Oh gosh, that is somebody's motorcycle going past at quite a click. This one, I feel like let's put a bit of blue in the background there. Maybe some ultramarine and teal blue. Let's pop a light on. This is a bit dark. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Did that come on at all? Maybe it did. There we are. That's a bit better, isn't it? You can see way more. Can you tell I don't stream very often? This is all my little quirks that I should have probably set up in the beginning. April, I have a long way to go to rival you now. Alright. That's a bit too blue, isn't it? Let's water it down some. That's a bit better. And this is really him kind of leaping towards the ball. And there's definitely space between his legs there. He's quite single-minded when I'm chucking the ball for him. He doesn't take no for an answer. Let's do that. So yeah, so that gives us a bit more space, and maybe we'll add a little bit here. Let's do him in actual doggy colors, shall we? So a bit darker on the eyes, in the darker areas, under his chin. And there we go. If you have any questions, please do ask. Sometimes I Hello, hi Toto. Sometimes I get a little bit confused when I'm actually drawing live and trying to say exactly what I'm doing. Let me see if I can move this a bit so that I'm a bit more comfortable. There we are. That's a little bit better. My hands were getting a little jammed up, shall we say. So let's go with the green in the back here. Now we have a bit more dimension in dogs. Now I need to add shadow here and here. So let's get some of that shadow violet. And I want this to remain dynamic, so I'm just using a few lines to indicate speed. And it's a bit light, so I might add a little bit more. And then I might wait for it to dry before I add even more. And then I want like slightly darker lines on top of that. So we'll get to that in a minute. And in the meantime, let's try a little bit. It's not waterproof. Oh, the pen? The pen is waterproof after it's dried. But if you're doing it, if you're leaving it like this, see here, it gets a little bit blended over here with the watercolor. But I don't kind of mind that. If I'm going to use waterproof ink, then I'd rather use my my pens. One of the Fude nib pens. I would rather use one of these for that. That's got, what ink has it got? It's got Diatramentis ink in it at the moment. All right, so let's come back to this fella and add some dimension there. The back leg, the underside of his head, leaving the ears, and a little bit in the tail, and the leg there. Needs a bit darker. There we are. Oh, not there. Okay, now after this I do want to add some texture. So for that I would use either my pencils, or I can reach behind me here and get some of my Neo 2s over here and some of the Neo 1s as well, but let's use the NeoArts today. I've got them in that. So let's do that. It's like a bit smudgy, looks like he's running in a rainstorm. Yeah, I want to kind of get the feel of the movement, which is exactly what I was trying to get. Or like this one where he literally comes up to you and his tail is going 1,000,000 miles an hour. So in fact, if I use my Fude pen and just put a few lines there to indicate that he's in movement, I feel like that really helps a lot as well. So this one has got a bit dark for me. So what I'm going to do, the nice thing about watercolor is that you can just take, it's just a plain wet brush, and I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. I'm just wetting it and adding a little bit more watercolor there and blending it a little bit. This isn't the best paper for this, but it'll work. See, it's pilling a little bit, but it's just a sketch, so I'm okay with that. But this kind of effect is what I want to get, like this, these lines here. That's what I want to get on the rest. Oh, April, you're starting your Rubik's sketchbook. I'm so sad. I'm going to miss your Rubik's session. I will actually be out with the Urban Sketchers if all goes well. So yeah, I'm kind of sad about that. All right, so let's come back to this now that that's completely dry. I'm going to take the gray and do a really fine point on my brush and add in some of his fur to give it a bit more effect, a bit more darkness on his snout and under the ears here, because his head kind of rounds off there. And a bit more dimension here and here. So that's getting somewhere. I completely forgot the tail. Here we are. Darker bits. So that one's getting somewhere. Let me show you a bit closer. That one's really getting somewhere now. These are still a bit wet. I could use a hairdryer, but I feel like watercolor does its best when it dries naturally. Okay, so let's come to this one. We have, hang on. Let's see if I can. Is that better? That's a bit clearer, isn't it? Okay, so this guy, this little Sam here is kind of dry. Now I don't want to add any more watercolor. But what I do want to do is bring in some of my crayons. Oops. Maybe, let's not do a black. Let's do sort of this green. What is it? It is a dark phthalocyanine green, one of my favorites. And I do have a matching pencil here. It's teeny tiny. I mean, it's really tiny. So let's use both of those. I'm gonna have to sharpen that one. Please close your ears 1 second. I don't think that's gonna work. Let me get a sharpener. This is one of my new favorite sharpeners, the Tegal. And just pop it in. It's so small, I don't think I can sharpen it anymore even. Just about. Whew. Gosh, it's all going on today. All right, so let's try that. First, I want the field. It was kind of rabbit worms behind him. Rabbit, what's those, mounds. So let's get a bit of that. A bit grassy as well. And mix in the pencil there as well. And also this bowl had grass around it, so let's add that in as we go. So now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? So let's add a bit of brown to him. I'm going to use a pencil. This is sepia. Hello everybody. Renata? What? Please let me know your names. Some of your usernames are long, so I don't know quite how to condense them down. Renat Cronfru 9567. Gosh, goodness. Okay. Let's add a bit of texture in him. And Sam is a very scruffy dog. Have you seen him on some of my videos maybe, or on my Instagram? He's very scruffy. So we're just going to use scribbles. We're going to leave his tongue out, obviously. You just use scribbles to define him. And we'll just go lighter on the scribbles where he's lighter and darker where he's darker. So just use that. I also want to use a bit of green here to flatten it out a little bit. I have to remember that these are Neocolor 2s, so they will blend in a little bit if I use water after this. So we've got him sitting in front of a pile of a rabbit hole thing. He does eat the rabbit poop. Hi Amy, have you set up your own dog drawing yet? Charge people to draw your dog in a pub close to you. Going to try and watch you and lino cut. What could go wrong? Oh my gosh, please be careful with your lino cut tools. Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be a good idea. You know, there's a dog life drawing in Nottingham somewhere, and I'm really sad that it's not closer. People bring their dog over and they draw the dog, obviously. Yeah, Sam would be too busy going from person to person getting cuddles. That's what he would be doing. He would not sit in the middle. He ignores other dogs, but he tends to like going up to people and cuddling them, which is why a lot of the time he's on lead, because he runs up, and the other thing he also likes to do is run into muddy puddles. Okay, now this green is also dry. I just want to add a bit of dimension. I'm just being really scribbly here. I'm not going to add any color to the dog, so I want him to stand out from the ground, but I also want to indicate that the ground is really, really textured and really grassy. It's literally a field near the woods, well, in the middle of the woods really, that is full of rabbit mounds, and it's really nice. It's a nice break from the woods where he can play ball. So yeah. What's your liner cut about, Amy? I mean, what is the subject of it is what I meant. I think I also need more practice in talking while I'm drawing, like April does. Every time I start concentrating on drawing, my voice kind of goes silent. Now I've lost a bit of the texture in here, so I'll come back with that thing there. And also, I feel like I need my white Posca. Now, this is one of my new Poscas. It is the BR, the Posca BR. It's got the brush tip. It's so nice. I love it. It's amazing. But what it does is, you can use it thick and thin. So what I'm going to do is put that ball thing down there. We'll wait for it to dry and then we'll work over that. But I really love how his fur has come out in this. And the plan for these drawings is to actually use them as a reference later on in what I'm doing. Amy says, you'll just have to head over to the Lewisham one then. You don't get to bring your own dog though. Colin would eat everyone's pencils. He probably would. I think, did we talk on Instagram about the Lewisham one? Because that is also like 2.5 hours from me by tube. Or at least 2 hours away from me. So it's like, if I drove to Nottingham, it would be 4 hours or something. And if I drove to you, it would probably be like 2 hours. Even by the tube, it would probably be... It's a tiny stamp of a frog for my wife. And if she finishes on time, I have 7 minutes to do it today to surprise her. She will not finish on time though. Yeah, it was you. Yeah. The funny thing is, if I see your work, I'll recognize it. But I don't often recognize names and faces. This weekend at the market, I was talking to someone and I knew them, and I knew I'd known them for a really long time, but I couldn't for the life of me remember her name. It did come to me in the end after I'd left, but it didn't come to me while I was talking to them, which would have been useful. But I got on the whole conversation saying, without using their name at all. But yeah, anyway. So, let's use a different green there. This one is quite nice. Moss green. I think there's a moss green in the... 1 second. I think I need my itty bitty ones. There's a moss green in here as well, I think. Yeah. There's a moss green right there. So let's use this one first. Just a bit of texture. And I don't want it too much in the background because I want the background and foreground to be quite distinct. And then the Neo 2 version. They are almost identical, I feel, like the NeoArt, the Neo 2 and the Neo 1, with the exception that the Neo 2 is water soluble as well. So yeah, quite interchangeable and very similar colors in the Luminance, which I love. Now let's square off his face here a little bit. Need a little bit of more definition there. And then definition between where the legs are. Okay. Should we try a little bit of color there? Let's try the salmon. Is this the salmon? No, this is the apricot. Let's add a bit. Oh, I love that. The fun part about this is just like experimenting with it. I feel like I need to change to a different color now. Where is that salmon? Come on now. Salmon, where are you? Nope, don't have it. Oh, let's go orange instead. Any guesses as to whether I'm still obsessed with orange? Yes, yes I am. If you want... Oh, hi. Hi, April, you're back. Yay. If you want a basic set of Neo ones, the Caran Swiss color version of generic Neo ones, but half the size, so great trial. Neo ones, I didn't understand that word. If you want a basic set of Neo ones, the Caran Swiss color version of generic Neo ones, but half the size, so great trial. Didn't understand that. But yeah, they did get a puppy. Isn't he cute? He's adorbs. I can't wait to go meet him. Okay, let's go some pink. It almost looks like he's at sunset now. And his ball is pink and blue, so let's do that. And some of the blue. Oh, wrong blue. Again, the wrong blue. Let's do this one. Yeah, there we go. So that's what we've got so far. So far, I really like this because it's brought the texture that I want. This is getting there, and this one has already got there. That's fine. I love this one. April says, Arati, I don't have any garam masala. Can I just do extra curry powder? Do you have cumin powder and coriander powder? That's just what's in garam masala. That plus some chili powder. Okay, so let's use this one for the sky on here. Just knock it back a little bit. And okay, this is now dry. So let's add some of the watercolor back in. We're going in with the shadow gray. Actually, I don't know if that's accurate. What color is that? Where did I do my... In a bit, I'll give you a little quick sketchbook tour of this as well. Non-soluble Neo ones. Yeah, I have Neo ones as well. I have the whole set. I have the whole set of Neo ones. I love them. In fact, I use them more often than I do the Neo 2s, as a matter of fact. I just happen to be using the NeoArts for this one, which are pretty interchangeable. I did a video on them, I think, on the Neo ones as underrated art supplies. So, in fact, let's get the Sahara yellow from that for the ground. I feel like this needs a little bit more lightness, and I'm gonna blend it into the sky to make it a little bit less yellow, a bit more like grayish. I hate grayish when it's used in interiors, but I love it when it's in art. Oh no, I didn't want it to do that. Let's get this is the Tombow mono eraser. Gets rid of Neo ones really nicely. Okay. So let's get that shadow violet. Get back to the point. Google Arati. Yes, I know. I don't know why I know so many random things. Well, this one I can tell you why, because I'm Indian, but you know. And I'm just gonna smudge that. I'm just gonna let it flow up like that. And let's do the same for Mr. Man here. on his butt and just across him like that. I don't think I wanted that all the way, but oh well. And through. Okay, now this one needs a bit more work. I'm quite happy with these. Maybe this one needs a bit more lightness somehow. Let's do, let me get, this is my angle shader brush. Absolute favorite. Amy says, I know, I'm just saying for anyone else who wants to take your advice, the cheaper Caran d'Ache Swiss color water resistant pastels are identical to Neo ones, but half size cheaper. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. These are such great dogs. I particularly like the face on the middle. Yeah, thank you so much. I have a lot of practice drawing Sam because he spends half the time. Actually, let me show you him if this doesn't disrupt this too much. If you are travel sick, please look away for a moment while I take you over. He spends a lot of his time like this. Sammy? Hi, Babus. Hi, Babus. So, yeah. So he's right by my desk. So it's really, really easy to draw him all the time because he's right there. And he's extremely motionless for more than half the day. Poor boy, he's such a gentle fella. Okay, so let's come back to this. I feel like I need to erase some. I don't like how it's looking. So again, the Tombow Mono comes in handy because it erases in a really thin line. So it almost feels like I'm going in with a lighter pen, but I'm not like getting like a flat erasure. Yeah, I like that bit better. Oh, let me show you my new gadget. Hang on. My husband laughed at me so much when I showed him this, but somebody on, I think Sarah Dyer or Emma Carlisle's Patreon showed this and I had to get it. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. What is it? Oh, this is a desk vacuum. Be gone! Oh my gosh, 2 extra, but I had to have it. It's so good. Okay, so let's come back to him. I didn't like the pencil that I used for him. So let's go back with the sepia again, but let's be a bit less generous with it. Really dark around his neck, because that's where the shadow from his head comes down. Oh, you have one of these, Amy, isn't it great? Isn't it awesome? Oh my God. It's insane. I love it. Okay, a bit more detail here. And actually, let's add a little bit of pink for his tongue. It's so good for pencil sharpenings in my bed. Do you use a sharpener in bed? I'm on the couch, that's for sure, but the bed, no. Bed I eat, I'm sad to say, particularly when I'm not well, but I haven't sharpened anything in bed yet. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I feel like that can then translate to a bigger piece, maybe. Do we want some flowers? I mean, there weren't any, but if we add some little bits, just adds a little bit more interest in it, doesn't it? I've got a full insight into how my brain works. Like, I was working on that and I'm now just distracted. Adding flowers where they don't need to be flowers, where they weren't flowers. Ooh, the head tilt. And yes, Colin is my muse too, but sadly much less motionless and pen steamy. Pen steamy? Steely. Oh, steely. Pen steely. Those are words for a dog. Yeah, why not? I use everything in bed. Soft pastels were the worst move. Acrylic ink, also not ideal. No. Definitely not ideal. Okay, let's come back to... I still don't know what to do with this guy. But we'll come back to this one. I feel like I've got the motion, but something's wrong here. There's too much leg. There's too much leg happening. So let's just define it a little bit with my Fude pen. And maybe the tail will just go off the page. And yeah, I think that should work. Need that light color in here. In fact, let's use the... So the danger with working with Neo 2s and Neo 1s is I have to keep them separate. Otherwise I have to look at every one and put them back. Then I get mixed up. So let's get that light color. Oh, see, that's better already. You can see a bit more definition where his leg is. That's the trouble I was having when they were just these drawings. This is page 2, by the way. When there were just these 2 drawings that I couldn't actually tell the difference between where the lines were and where they weren't. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was having a bit of trouble differentiating. Like, these are a little bit better because they're slightly different poses, but in this one, for example, can't tell where his leg is and where the top of his fluff is. So I think that'll be really defined by when we color it in. Anyway, so let's add a bit more of this, and we're joining the ground and the sky a little bit more, tapering off towards the end there. I actually keep the Neo 1s in this because then I don't get them mixed up with the Neo 2s, which the Neo 2s, since half of them are like little bits and pieces like this, it's a little bit easier to keep track, and also then I can just shove them back in the shelf, like literally like that. Okay, starting to get a bit clogged up without supplies here. Okay, so what else can we do to him to help with this? Maybe we need a bit more light here, a bit more lightness here. So I'm gonna use the Posca to knock back some of the color so that he's darker as he goes away and lighter in here. And then I'll add pen over the top to replace some of the detail that I've lost. Leg, some fluff. And I always like to use my finger to kind of mush it in. Okay, I think that helps. Now, let's leave that alone for a minute and come back to this guy. What do I do? He looks like he's flying in the middle of one of the line doodles. Yeah, this one. He literally was jumping up to get the ball. And then this one, he dropped the ball next to me, and then he was looking at somebody who was coming down the road. So I had to quickly get some snacks. Sketchbook in one hand, like this, pen grabbed. I think I put my pen in my teeth. And then I had to grub in my pocket for like snacks so that he wouldn't run off. He's super friendly. That's part of the problem, is that we do keep him on lead because he's a huge dog. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but he's a big dog. He's bigger than a Labrador. He's about like a golden retriever size. So when a dog that size comes charging across the field towards you, it can be a little bit intimidating if you're not used to dogs. I mean, we love him, and we know he doesn't mean any harm, but, you know, not for everyone. Now you get to see how this calligraphy pen works. I've already messed it up, but anyway. I'm just using loose strokes to get detail. And didn't want to do that. Yeah. And then we'll color over that in a little bit. But let's come back to this. Like, I've lost a bit of detail here, haven't I? So maybe let's actually use the color that he is, which is kind of like a gray brown. So I'm going to use a sepia and color it in. Like so. And go over the shadow area so that we define the dog part of the shadow while still having the shadow. So yeah. Amy, how's your liner cut going? Hopefully you are safe. You are staying safe. And let's knock that back a little bit with, what is this? Periwinkle blue. In fact, I was just thinking about this because we were clearing the garden a little bit now that it's spring. And the periwinkles are out and this color is so lovely. Yeah. So that, I feel like that gray was too dark. And maybe we can blend it into here as well. I'm not too bothered about making it a pretty sketchbook page. I'm just individually like concentrating on these bits. Like so. Yeah, I like that. And let's get some periwinkle around the ball as well. Okay, the periwinkle is my favorite Neocolor. Most people hate purple. Yes, we have someone in the chat. April, you hate purple, don't you? Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't use it that often, but it's such a lovely color. And then, yeah, still, I think that needs to dry a little bit. And also we're starting to pill over here a little. What else can we do there? I feel like I need a bit more lightness in the face. Let's use the ochre. Yeah, that's getting there. Bit more in the face and the head, but I'm not going to take this color further back because I want that to remain dark. Let's go back with the sepia over there. Bit darker. I have these little purple pages here that I try to put underneath so I don't ruin the other pages. Where's the other one? Oh. There we are. Okay, and maybe a bit of erasing will get us there. Alright, I think I'm quite happy with him. He's a bit darker. Liza says, give purple a chance. Yes, exactly. Need a bit of highlight. The thing I love about this brush tip is that you can just do a teeny tiny little, and a bit on his nose. And I feel like I need a bit of darkness over there. Let's use the, where's the pen gone? Ah, lost the pen. Oh. Around the eyes. There we are. Okay, a bit less texture than I would like, but hey ho, can't win them all. All right, so here's what we've got so far. Still have work on him. Oh, maybe we'll come back to him in a minute. I really like how that's turned out, particularly the color combination in the top. And I really like how this has turned out. So this has really defined the shape for me. So now if I draw a dog kind of top view, this is probably the reference that I will think of when I'm doing that. Okay, so let's move these over and work on this one. I feel like that's so cute, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I feel like this one is what I want to work on first because I had an idea for it and I was thinking that I would do, where's it gone? That bright yellow. This is, well, yellow, just plain yellow. And I really wanted to do just a yellow background on him. Just like so. All across, so his tail was really lying out flat. And all the way across. And even just that much really solidifies the shape of him. I need a bit of yellow in there. Now instead of just a bunch of squiggle lines, it's more defined as a dog. I mean, it already was this particular one, but I just feel like that's a bit better. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. April, no one purple. Just say no, Arati. Okay, shall I use purple in this somewhere just to give purple a chance? Purple and yellow, I don't know how that's gonna do. And then because I like a little bit of dark shading down the bottom, we're just going to use golden cadmium yellow here to add a bit of grounding around the ball. Oof, gone over the thing. Bit of grounding around his feet and around his body. And then flat where his bum meets the ground, and the tail as well. And let's just continue that down this end. I think that's super cute. I don't even know if I want to do anything else to that. That's just a good reference on its own. Maybe a bit of shadow. Do I want to risk ruining it with the shadow? Yes, I do. I can always do it over again if I need to. So we need shadow down here, a little bit down here where his legs are. Let's lift that a bit. Down underneath his tail, and there. That's all. Maybe on his eyes. Poor boy, right now he has a yeast infection in his ears, so we're having to put drops twice a day. Hopefully it won't be anything too serious. Hopefully. Yeah, that's all I want to do with that one. Love the yellow. Thank you. April, I gotta use the purple. Come on. Okay. Shall we come up to, let's leave flying dog for now. Let's do this one. I feel like this is very similar to the top dog here. So I might do a similar texture just to compare and contrast both of them. So let's do the green. Maybe some yellow mixed in with that. Between his paws, out here, and around there. I look away for 15 minutes and it's completely changed. It's a different page, April. Here's the one we were on. And then here's the one we're on now. So yeah, here we are. I even love him just like that. Just like that. Maybe, yeah, let's put some shadows in. Just where his eyes are. And down the side of his face. And where his paws are under him. And back here, where his legs are. And on his tail. Okay, and let's add the highlights in. Oh no, it's still wet. Oh well, we'll come back to that in a minute. You were listening but cooking, yeah. Yeah, I love the orange too. Okay, oops, what am I doing? All right, so I have about 10 minutes left before I have to go and do some stuff. So let's try, and I feel like I don't even want to touch him because he's so good. No, okay. I think he's a good candidate for purple. So I'm gonna do some purple right here. And just wait for it. There's a vision here. There is a vision here. And some mauve. That is, yeah, light lilac. And then around the ball, let's just create some movement. and around him as well. Hee. Whee! There he jumps. Oh my gosh. And then this blue, periwinkle blue? No. Let's get gray. No, that's not what I want. What do I want to fit in here? I think I need sort of like a salmony color. There's also periwinkle in the Neo ones. But I feel like maybe gray? This gray? Let's try that. Yeah, I think that works nicely. Just kind of blending in, defining where he is. And I'm going to use this to do the shadows now. So where his bum is and the insides of his legs kind of coming out with fur like that. Texturizing it. Around his tail as well. And just really being scribbly. Squibbly, squibbly, squibbly. There we are. Going a bit darker as we get into the picture. And bit direction, I'm scribbling in different directions now. I feel like it needs to be a bit darker. So he stands out. Yeah. Satisfaction. See, when I'm concentrating, I can't talk. Talking is essential for a live stream, but perhaps we can all take a moment for the scribbly drawing and concentrate. Oh, my face is completely out of the thing as well. I think that's cute. I feel like it needs to be darker though. See, it's a bit darker grey. Just around the details there. See how his ear suddenly comes to life when there's more contrast? Now, don't eat me, guys, but I am going to sharpen my Neo. Oh, it doesn't fit in there. Okay. Time for the big old sharpener. Don't at me. Don't at me. I do it. I do it. And there we are. I think that stands out nicely. Now. I mean the other one, lol. The other orange? This orange. This one. Oh, this one. Okay, a little bit more lilac around there. And blendy blendy. He's like jumping off into like an alien moon space thing, whatever. Amy says, I'm definitely going to watch this back properly when I'm not wielding sharp tools. because it's great seeing how you bring these to life. I'm also a Neo sharpener. Oh, thank you so much for support on the Neo sharpening. I always think that I'm going to get told off, but that's how I use them. I feel like I want to bring the grey and the purple in here as well. Maybe let's do the darker purple behind. Just an even coat. I feel like I want to wet them. I feel like I want to wet them. I don't want to use my nice watercolor brush for it though. Yeah. And there we are. Now here's where I'm glad I used the Neocolor one for the purple there, because I did not want to lose that scribbleness. There we go. All right. Do we want to continue the gray? Well, we will do when it's dry. In the meantime, maybe let's continue that yellow up here, so it's not such a stark difference. And where is my green? Is this a Neo one? No, I want a Neo one. Let's see, I need to put them back so I don't mix them up. Neocolor 2. And this is, oh gosh, this is the dark olive, one of my favorites. Will I stream regularly now? Should I? I probably should, shouldn't I? Today I was just really nervous. That's why I asked you, like, should I stream? Because I was just a bit like, I don't know if I should do this. Maybe I'll just stream for shorter periods. I don't think I could do like late evening like you do, because I'm so tired by then. But maybe I'll just like pop on when I'm doing a quick an hour's sketchbook or something like that. Would you like that? I don't know. Ooh, a heart thing appeared. I don't know how that works. Is that... Oh, hang on. Can I do that? Oh, cool. Awesome. All these little things that I get distracted by. Concentrate, Arati, concentrate. The talking and the drawing is enough for now. So just feel how... I don't know if you're getting it on screen, but just by adding the background color, I've now defined the shape of this dog. Whereas before it was just scribbly. I'm not even going to add anything to him. Well, I say that, and then I'm just thinking a little bit of purple. Just a smidge. Just a little bit of this light one. This is one of the special edition ones. Heliotrope. So yeah, maybe just add a little bit. Just a smidge, just to suggest the shadows, that's it. Yeah, yeah, he's a cutie. He's such a cutie. Okay, so that's that one. And again, like I said, I wanted to do the grass scribbly ones for this. So let's do that. I'm just going to do slightly longer lines because he's sitting down in it. So I want to give the impression of grass being pushed down as well as spreading out around him. A bit more darkness here because I'm assuming the light's coming from there, because that's what I've done with the shadows. Just assume that this is a ditch. And there we go. Apologies if you can hear my husband. He is gonna take Sam out now. So if there's smashing, crashing, banging sounds, that's him putting his shoes on and the lead on the dog. You get better at talking, I promise. Oh, thanks, April. I hope so. I really need to improve on that. Now I'm gonna blend this green into the grey. But I don't want to do too much. Where did I put the grey? There we go. I just want to do it so it blends in. It's a bit stark at the moment. Oh, I don't know how to turn that off, but okay, we'll figure that out for next time. Oh, see what that does. Now, I did that by accident because I forgot I was holding the grey and I thought I was holding the green, so I went in there. But the grey looks great on top of the green. Yeah, I like that. I like that. What happens if the grey goes on top of the orange? Shall we try that? Let's try that. Where's this gone? Here we go. So let's work that in. Kind of blend it in there. Nice. I've just gone off on a tangent now, just blending in colors. But it'll all work out in the end. One hopes. And what yellow did I use? I used the golden yellow, didn't I? The only thing I don't really like about these NeoArts is that they don't really go in the spaces. I haven't tried sharpening them yet, but I feel like that would be a real waste of a pencil. And oh, can you hear the dog getting up? Drew, yeah. Do you want to come and say hi to my YouTube stream? You can just come and wave from behind me. Here. Oh, your head needs to be further down. Well, my husband said hello. Maybe next time I'll put his face on the thing. You've seen him probably in some of my vlogs though. I stopped doing vlogs years ago because I felt like I didn't lead much of an interesting life. So, yeah. Apologize for dog noises in the background. Yeah. Oh, that works. Oh, let's put some shadows down here. I am totally getting sidetracked now. And husband is reminding me also that I have stuff to do now. So, what time is it? 6:05, yeah. So, sketchbook hour is almost done. Let me know what you achieved during your hour. What did you do? Amy, did you get part of your lino done? April, did you get dinner cooked? What else did people do? Also, how did you get notified by this? Like, April, I know I told you, but did you get notified that I was doing a live? I don't even know how these things work. Like, I know how they work for other people, but I don't know how they work for my channel. I haven't really paid much attention to that stuff. Okay, this page ended up being loads and loads of color. Loads. Oh, that matches. Oh wait, we completely forgot about that side. Hang on. I say we. I said we, but I meant me. Oh, husband's gone. Now we will be a little bit more quiet. Apologies if that was really noisy for you. Bit of grey. Let's bring that scribbly bit in here. I don't want too much of it in here though. I just want it to like phase out by the time we get here. Yeah. I might just give you a little quick sketchbook tour, actually, while we're at it. Would you like that? You got our notifications, Eliza. Oh, that's great. That's really great to hear. Because my videos really aren't showing up much on YouTube lately. I don't know why. Maybe because I haven't posted in a while. But I've just been busy with stuff. London Book Fair and things. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with him. London Book Fair and things with my main job as a book designer. Let's do some highlights on the nosies. The ball. All the little balls here. Maybe maybe a little texture there. Just a little. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that works out well. There, I've gone silent again. This was concentrating. Oh well. Anyway, so here we are with my sketchbook pages, oops, for today. This is, as I said, my very rather filthy Pith Kabosu sketchbook. This is the sketchbook. I've shown the sketchbook before in my Northumberland video. That's where this little map is from that Mandy made for us for our art retreat with April, me and Mandy. You should go and see that. By the way, April, where is that video? Is it coming out on the anniversary? But yeah, so it's 2025 February I started it. Shall I just give you a tour of the whole thing? Would you like that? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a quick one. There's Sammy. That's just colored pencil. I didn't mean you're bad at talking, by the way. I just meant it gets easy to talk and draw. Yeah, I understood that. Don't worry. My colored actions, which is a new series that I'm doing. Actually, let me show you one of the final pieces, actually. So these are then translating into this and this. I'll show all of them and then this. So yeah. So that's how a sketchbook then works out to be a final art piece. I guess I'll do a video about that at some point. Just experimenting with things, experimenting with colors and like patterns and things. All this is gouache and pencil. This one as well. I feel like his mouth got lost somewhere. And then Sam's favorite toys. This was in the Northumberland video. So it was this and this and this. And this, and this, and then we're back to more Dachshunds. My first dog as a child was a Dachshund, which is why I draw them so much. Her name was Rafiki. This is before the days of The Lion King. So Rafiki was actually the name of a Great White Pyrenees, Great Pyrenees shepherd dog? Anyway, he was a giant dog. He was a Pyrenees. And he lived in Tanzania where we were at the time when I was about like 9-10 years old. And we loved him so much that we thought that every time, the first time we got a dog, we would name him that. And that Rafiki in Swahili means friend, which you all know now because of The Lion King. But yeah, this was in pre-Lion King days. Anyway, so that's why I draw Dachshund so much. There's two more there that I was like planning colors for, haven't done them yet. Not sure where it was for this one. Oh, you have a big, beautiful Pyrenees. Oh my gosh, aren't they amazing? He used to be owned by this restaurant owner, and he used to just sit on their lawn and look like this giant statue. He was amazing. He was so good with kids as well. Caran markers, testing them. I went out into the woods one day and I was just drawing. This is again watercolors and pen. Experimenting with new work. It's very different for me, but I gotta just gotta experiment with it. This was the magic pencils. They're so lovely. They're amazing. And then out and about, more out and about. I think this was the Fude pen and an Ecolina gray marker. More out and about. I'd already prepped the background from leftover paint. Yeah, it's just a lot of it is out and about, taking it with me because it fits into my pocket. This is a drawing that I did and I didn't finish it, but I will at some point. Oh, more Sammy. He's the best. He was just begging from the roof at this point, wearing his hoodie. More out and about on the canal. Went with Drew on a trip. Actually, oh, I've got to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I went on Drew on a trip, and actually this is the video that I'm waiting to voice over. So I'm going to skip the next page. Give you a little sneak peek. And skip the next page because I want to keep that for the video. I took my niece to swimming, and I'm really unhappy with this drawing because this part is okay. And then here I kind of got confused as to what is where and where the stairs are. So I just feel like I want to go back there at some point. So I've told my sister I'll take her another Saturday and sit there and draw from the bleachers. There's Sammy again. This was a disaster of a drawing. It was actually just before I did these because I thought that Sam, being tired, would sit next to me calmly while I drew some trees, but he found the worst sticks on the ground to chew, and I just couldn't do it. So I got a few things down, but I never finished this piece. So I might go back to that spot at some point and try and finish it. And then obviously the gestural drawings, which now are colored in. And page 2 of that as well. I really love this page actually. And then some more thorny bits. And I think that's pretty much the end of the sketchbook. So I might actually do a proper sketchbook tour of this very soon. But thank you so much for watching. And that was really, really fun to do with you. Thank you, April and Liza. And gosh, I can't see the entire list of people. And Amy and... Can I scroll back in this? Maybe I can. Yes, I can. And Renata and Toto. I can't go any further back in this app thing. Thank you so much for watching, for being here, for clicking on my live. I'll pop this up in the live streams. There are a couple more that I think you can look at. And now that this setup is working, now that I figured out the sound, yes, I will do more live streams. I'll probably do a couple more this week. I'm really close to 5,000 subscribers, I think, like literally 7 or 8 away. So hopefully I'll do some more. I actually, maybe, would you like this next? So in one of Emma Carlisle's sessions, we did this panels. Oh gosh, it doesn't fit on screen, but you can see it more or less. So we did this in panels, and I just have one page left in this sketchbook. So I thought I might turn it into a little story panel. So maybe we'll do that next, because that's on my list of things to do. But thank you so much for watching. And that is the end of today's live. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you caught me live as well. All right. Thanks, everyone. And if you're watching this back, please do pop any questions in the comments. I will be happy to answer you. I will link all the art supplies in the description within about a day of uploading this. Thanks so much, and bye.